You gotta excuse me. I had to rush out the door. But before I did, I had to get in the shower. Y'all knew I was waiting till last night to get in the shower since last night. So we got some mental analysis that somebody said they did on someone, but this could be like somebody swapping like records, medical records. Like somebody is crazy and somebody swapped your medical records to make it seem like you crazy instead of that person. Okay. But today I couldn't even make it home because I wanted to do the reading so bad. But I was thinking about Joseph. I had Joseph, Daniel, and somebody else out on the table. But I was also getting not just Daniel with the D. I was also getting Dan, just Dan and like Dan from the Bible. But I was like, who gave away somebody's shit? And then the thing I want to know was like, was it on purpose? You know, is these families that's haters, they're closer to the people that was all stealing from me throughout the years, or what? So when I was waking up, I was looking at, I tell you, somebody keep on trying to put this person in my face to be jealous or something, but I know that this is a scammer. This could also be with the Smith family, the Roses or Roseanne. My auntie, she passed, I think she passed, yeah, she passed away not too long ago. Probably, I was living here in Wisconsin, so it probably was in the past 5 years, 6 years or something. Like at the heightened time of my, so-called awakening. I think my little cousin passed away that live here in Wisconsin. My cousin's son, Deontay or Deont, I can't, it's something like this. Okay, he passed away. It was like, I think his name is like, it's Deontay. I can't remember, y'all, because I can't remember the kids. I can't remember my cousin's kids, the big ones. I can't remember, or the little ones. I don't know their names like that. So, but I know that he passed away. I think that like at a friend's house or at somebody's house or something. He was like unresponsive, whatever. So I think he passed away, and then a little bit after that, my auntie Roseanne passed away. But I just think that these people just took the past 7 years to really screw up somebody's like records, to screw up my records and other people, like to play around with things from a government standpoint. So this is gonna be like a little rundown, because this is all what I was getting when I was just steaming a little bit. Because somebody's gonna try to make it as jealousy, but no. When I look at Opera Nikki that got OCD, and then you said it yourself that when you was 8 years old, you was getting bullied and about how you look and dress and everything like this. Now this might be 8 years old as a vampire, but 8 years old as a child, maybe somebody was trying to say when they was a little kid. But because I feel like this is one of the demons or one of the people that something happened to. Okay, I just heard the song "Run Up on You," so I don't know if these people tried to run up on me and something happened to them, and now they're demons, or they've been brought back from the dead, and now they're like cyber demon. Like, no, what do you call it? I call them the zombie, smart zombies. Okay, people that could have died, but they, you know, they families use their resources or my resources to bring them back to life, or reincarnate or splice them or whatever. So when I'm looking at the person, and I think she do got, like, the video that came in my feed today was like, oh, like looking into the camera, like, and whatever, and they wanted me to see the bookshelf behind her with an S on it. So the girl's name could start with a, I mean, her last name could be an S, but I think that Opera Nikki is Sophia Parham. That's my play sister that I grew up with my whole life. We both supposedly Tauruses, and I think she's only a year older or 2 years older than me. Okay, so again, when we talk about the Cabbage Patch Kids, I don't know what these people, because I don't know what her name is on paper or what the original records, because yesterday we got there is no other name. So either somebody's trying to say my name, and somebody keeps sending me a song talking about, oh, it's such a beautiful name, I'm getting so much love. So I don't know if something like they're trying to like take something from like They're trying to take something from Ostara energy or Jesus energy and go in a way other direction and talk about the Sophia energy, because they try to intertwine Sophia and Jesus, but could that be Jesus's feminine name? You know, this is what I'm trying to see. Did they, the births or whatever, and our families were already in the mix with each other, or they were already in the bed with each other. So, you know what I'm saying? Most of the time it take a man to be fascinated with a woman, and then she's doing witchcraft on him behind the scenes and his whole family. By the time they serious, everything in your family already been swapped over to this family with the witchcraft, right? So who knows? You just don't know, because all of these people are imposters. But I was like, no. And I know that's your daughter that's riding around Chicago eating that fucking food. And somebody said, don't cross that line. I don't play about mine. And I know your daddy is that man. That esoteric, freaky looking man with the crazy eyes, with the couple of dreadlocks. He got a bald spot here. And he be going viral online. And he got a couple dreadlocks in the back of his head. And he got crazy eyes. And he be talking like, yeah, no, no, because he be talking like about crazy shit. But you could tell it's the devil. Now, what I'm thinking about with the Rosemont thing, because this Sophia person was on the Kanika Jenkins footage. Now, I said either something happened to me at that hotel and they talking about Kanika Jenkins, or something happened to another little girl, the Russell girl, the Jones Russell girl. All right. So while we talking now, the Jones Russell girl is the people that lived across from us in Kenosha. Janisa, and I forget the male's name. They lived across. Her name was Russell. I think her name was Jones. I think his name was Daryl. They lived across the street from us. And when my youngest daughter was like a baby still, our electricity went out, and the kids had to go over there for a couple hours so we could try to get the electricity fixed up at our house. We all went there for a little bit just to warm up, because we was already cold all night. Because our shit went out on this side, but they didn't lose theirs. That happened a lot when we lived on that street. We would lose our power, but they didn't lose theirs. So, but that time, you know, we had the baby, and I'm like, it's still cold. I don't know what to do. We all slept in the same bed that night and everything, the whole family, you know, but it was just too fucking, we just couldn't take it. And so we went across the street for a little bit, warmed up, and then they was like, yeah, the kids can stay or whatever. I think they did a ritual on the kids, or they swapped out the kids at that moment. All right. Or they gave the baby shots or something, because she was like, oh, I wanted to give her a bath or whatever. So she gave her a bath when she was over there. And the couple days, I was thinking, damn, you know, we had like 4 or 5 feet of snow. It was a blizzard. And so it was almost like a fake ass thing. Because I swear, we was walking across the street. We had to walk through the snow this tall. It was exciting to me as an adult, but it was kind of like, if you think about it now, it fucking was weird. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, the kid in me woke up when I was like, oh my God, I've never been in this much snow. You know what I'm saying? But I remember walking across the street and it wasn't plowed out or nothing. And the shit was up to here. So we had to walk our way through the snow to go across the street. So, again, she was like, oh, I just wanted to give the baby a bath because she couldn't have children. But he had a daughter named Tiana. He had a daughter named Tiana already, okay, when he met her. And she was like the mother. Now, it was that story or that narrative, like the mother died or the mother went away or the mother something like this. All right. But I told you, it's that ritual of the single male with the child that meets a woman that is with the man, but then the daughter end up dying in a tragic way at some point in time in their teenage life or their young adult life. Because who knows if these children are really these men's daughters, or were they taken and raised up because of their energy with these men. So this is something about to do with a type of ritual. So when the baby came back, she started getting really sick. Like within hours, she got really, really sick. And I told y'all I had stopped giving her, like at 1 year old, couple months old, I had stopped giving her shots because she broke out in like a little pimply rash. The first time she got shots when she was a baby, the youngest one, she broke out like for the 1 week checkup or something like this. They gave her shots, or within the first 6 weeks or something, they give them the shots. And she broke out in little tiny pimples all over her, like thousands of little pimples all over her body. And I'm like, it's them fucking shots. Then when she was like, Then she was like two, maybe two, yeah, because she was like, I think, walking and stuff at that time now. I think. But we gave her shots, and as soon as I got back from the doctor's office, she was having like a uncontrollable tantrum for nothing, banging her head on the wall, kicking the floor, you know, spinning around on the ground, acting like she was fucking possessed. And then that was the time, that day, I decided I'm not giving her any more shots. Okay, so you know, I know that the incident with the bath happened before that, but this could be significant. So what I was thinking is like, okay, so when we moved here, we were still kind of, you know, we ran into the, you know, our neighbors are from the Kenosha house. We ran into them a couple of times or whatever. Okay. Um, we ran into them a couple of times. And then I think we ran into them at Sam's Club, and they was with the daughter. They was with, because the daughter now was like 20 something years old. But when I seen the daughter, I'm like, damn, that girl is light skinned. Her face is a lot more rounder. She kind of look like ICU Tarot. She kind of looked like her a little bit, the little girl, Tiana. But when I seen her, I'm like, that don't look like Tiana. But at that time, I did not know about them swapping people out of the Truman Show. I was just like, damn, she's a lot, because I met her when she was like 12 years old or something. When they first moved there, she used to come play with my kids and swing on the swing set. I could see her on the damn swing set in my mind right now, swinging on the swing set in the backyard, and the other little kids were playing around. She was the oldest one, so I know she was bored, but she was a little bit older than them or whatever. I think when they moved there, she was already in middle school. All my children were still in elementary school. And so, okay. And so the baby got okay. Now I told y'all after the storm, I guess, but I was thinking she didn't never have a baby or whatever. She probably just wanted to, you know, play with the baby. She probably wanted to give a baby a bath and stuff like this or whatever, you know, whatever. But the baby had like a death of cold, bitch. I even had kids already, and I thought my child was, but I done already had three kids, and I thought this child was about to die. Okay, she got sick. And I'm like, damn. And I kept thinking, well, oh man, maybe I wish she would have never gave her that bath. Maybe, you know, it's just because the blizzard and everything was cold. Damn, it just, I was concerned or whatever. Okay, I was really concerned. Now, could the baby had died and they didn't want to shock me, and they swapped the baby out then? I don't know, because I'm seeing the judgment card with the little baby, like the cat in a bag from the show Them. When those white men got that baby, that black lady's baby, and those Caucasian men got that lady's baby and put it in a bag and, you know, killed that baby boy, I think. They slammed the baby all around or whatever in that vision. I don't know if it, I can't remember about the show, if that incident happened in real life or not. And then they had to move out of the rural country and then move somewhere else. Oh, okay. I think that's what that showed Them. I think it showed her a long time ago having a little boy, and those Caucasian men came to her house, put the baby in the bag, raped her and killed the baby or something. And I think they moved into like, they moved years later. Now she had a little girl that was like 8 years old. I hope I'm not mixing up two shows. And, you know, they was moving into a, you know, neighborhood where the Caucasian people was not too happy about it. All right. So, and it reminds me, because when we moved in that neighborhood in Kenosha, we was the first black people to move over there. It was a lot of little houses. There was like smaller houses or whatever like this. These wasn't no big old houses or nothing. But we was the first so-called black people to move over there. And I remember we were looking for a house, and we came to this house on the corner, and they had toys and stuff out there, like a lady did a daycare. And when we knocked on the door, because it was saying for sale by owner, when we knocked on the door, it was an Asian lady. And then she was like, can I help? And I was like, oh, yeah, we looking for a house and da-da-da-da. And she's like, oh. She's like, yeah, that's strange or whatever, because there's not that many colored people over here. And I'm thinking, what the fuck? This is 2008. I know she didn't just say colored people. So it kind of tripped me out or whatever. Like, and then he was like, yeah, she said colored or whatever. So that could have been I'm just letting y'all know, motherfucker, because I be thinking glimpses of time be coming in here, and it's just shit that you don't notice. You don't notice at the time, but that should have been a sign. For me, I'm guessing that if I was fully activated at that time, that would have been a sign. Okay, maybe to not move into that neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? But anyways, we ended up, I think she moved out. We moved in. We got the house like around the corner from her house. And she moved out like a couple years later or whatever. But anyways, enough is enough. Okay, so this was making me think about, okay, because we ran into, okay, so that's the whole thing about the story with my child and these people and whatever, what we knew about them, what we thought we knew about them. Now let's move on to, we left that house and we moved here. Now we rented that house out to this dude named Chris, which is was my person's barber at the time. And his wife, okay? And so we rented the house. I was like, it's a bad idea. I just don't, but I mean, you gonna do it, whatever. Like, I don't got nothing to do with it. So my person would still go over there once in a while to talk to him, get the rent, whatever, like this or whatever, like that. And but like I always seen this little shady side. I can spot a scammer. It's just like somebody that's slick. I'm not gonna say he was a scammer, could be, but somebody that's slick. But see, it's different when the reason why people being slick around you could be the partner that you have. And as you're waking up to this shit, you like, yeah, this person was a little slick, but the slickest motherfucker could have been the one that was with you or whatever was attached to that person and their family. So I'm not gonna leave that out. And then some of these people, they okay with being slick and doing this thing, but when it comes to that one person that they thought they cared about, it's probably off limits. But if that person did, then the person ain't off limits no more. And these people around you that you used in these things, and they know who I am, I don't know who the fuck they are. So I don't know how to protect myself or what they are. So I would not know how to protect myself. So that's what I'm saying. Somebody didn't give a fuck. This is like when you realize the motherfuckers was leaving you for dead. Okay, so let's move on to a time, because this is what the vision that we were getting the other day, that somebody's doing this thing over again. So I said, well, okay, source, how like, what you mean it might not be that way? What do you mean that Tiana's mother could have been, I couldn't remember if they said she ran off and left, because I thought the girl went to like Memphis to go visit her mom before or something like this, and she had problems with drugs. I can't remember if the storyline was that or if the storyline was that she just was dead. Okay, and when Tiana went to go visit her people in Mississippi or something like this, I can't remember if it was just her family, or if that was her going to visit her estranged mother. Okay, because I cannot remember what the storyline was, but it's the point of not even just trying to shame these people, it's showing the formula. So let's go back in now. Let's go here, okay? Because we're gonna have to get into this reading, but let's go here. So what I was picking up is like somebody's doing this thing again or something. Now, your person could have not been a part of this association or this group, but they found out how these people operate while they was with you, and they said, oh, that sounds like a good thing. Let me join that. Or when we moved there, the call could have been like, yeah, it's straight over here. Let me go. I checked out the place. It's straight. Send another black couple from our hometown here to live across the street from us. And then we could start the whole process of what we're going to do to Shalonda. Who knows? Do you get what I'm saying? Okay. So even when I was watching that show the other day and they were saying, oh, the boyfriend left the woman or whatever, he ended up hurting his leg at work or whatever, and he ended up not being able to find a job and everything like this, and he got stuck on pain medication. But I was thinking, the storyline of the show that I'm watching now, I forget what it's called, The Client List. The storyline is that the girl got left by her husband or whatever. He hurt his leg. He couldn't get a job. And so I was thinking I could resonate with a lot of the shit in this, with this in this show. It's kind of like, it's kind of showing me a couple things a different way that I didn't see things, because I don't just watch TV to watch TV. It's always like mind puzzles. It's always playing with my mind as media. It's waking up media. Okay, she's waking up a little bit in me. Okay, so um, so the reason why I have to be real, and that's what they say, it's too real. You're not supposed to do it like that. You're supposed to like hint around. You're supposed to say this Gemini. No, motherfucker. If I feel like it's a rapper or something, if I know what the fuck I'm saying and I've already analyzed it, your name might slip out. If this is a way for something like this to track my story, if I'm doing it a different way than anybody ever did it, that's what the fuck I'm doing. This shit is not about to stand. If burning down this shit means that I have to be real, that's what we're doing on this channel. Okay? All right? So, okay. So I was asking Source, well, how does that happen then? I kept on asking for the past couple months or something. So we may be getting our answer. So, moving on, we move out of the house. We move in this house. The people, the neighbors that we were friendly with were still living there. My person would still go over there once in a while to talk to the barber. Okay. We ended up running into them at Sam's Club one weekend. Okay. Dang, I'm trying to think. That might have been, that wasn't even, it almost seemed like that wasn't even that long ago. We ran into them at Sam's Club, and they had the baby, the grandbaby with them, Tiana's baby. And we stopped and talked to them for a second. And then I think they were like, oh, we was at the mall up there or whatever. We was trying to figure out where y'all lived or something like this. Okay. That was the last time. And I think I ran into them at Bath and Body Works or something at the mall. Okay. That's that. Now, let's brush through this. A couple weeks, months, whatever like this, around Halloween time or whatever, because Halloween is coming up again now. Around Halloween time, I just remember that my person went over there. He was having a little problem with the dude. I think COVID was maybe even going on. And the dude was like, I ain't even gonna have the rent, or he was trying to, and I was like, see, I ain't saying he a scammer, but he one of them people, you better make sure that everything gonna be okay, because he one of them people that would take advantage of, y'all remember around COVID, people were like, oh, well, getting these vouchers or whatever so that they don't have to pay rent, and they could be excused from not having to pay rent for like 3 months, or it was like a voucher that lasts where they could get a couple months off of rent, or it was some kind of shit that they was doing. And I'm like, see, this is what I'm talking about. See, he and then he's like, man, I was talking to him, and he said something like, now you know they got that program, and he like, nah, you know what I'm saying, I need my money or whatever for the place or whatever, I just got this other place over here, I can't be fucking around. So he said, I'm gonna go over there. I'm like, okay, you want me to go over there with, you know, I'm gonna go, do you want me to go with you or whatever, because I just ain't trying to have no shit or whatever. And he's like, nah, I'm just gonna go by myself or whatever, like I'm just gonna just talk to him or something like this. And I'm like, Cause I always get these feelings, right? I always get the same thing when he was selling the childhood car, our teenage car that we used to ride around in with those guys from Chicago, and he had to go on a ride with them. It was the same thing, okay? The same feeling that I had when I think they swapped him out again at that point. So I'm like, okay. And so I was at home doing whatever, okay? And then he went and talked to the dude. And then all I know is a couple hours later, you know, my partner had been drinking lots of years that while we was together, a lot. You know, not an alcoholic, but you know, somebody on the outside may see it as that. But he never been drunk, sloppy drunk like that, silly drunk or something. But like the way that this man, I've been with him, like I said, since he could even drink legally. So, and living with him most of that time. So when the door, I'm like, what the fuck? And then he was like, yeah, he had a little, you know, but I ain't gonna let, you know, him drive like this or whatever like this. And he was even sleep, you know, like they in a movie and shit. You know what I'm saying? When the person slumped over on the person's shoulder and shit. And then he's like, yeah, you know, come. I'm like, what the fuck is wrong? I didn't see you drink. And I ain't never seen you like this. And I'm like, oh, well, thanks for bringing him home or whatever like this. And then once he got settled in and sat down, he was like, now I'm bringing this up because the friend, the Janice woman remind me a lot of Time Oracle. Okay, the sips juice energy. Okay, and they used to go up, and I know they used to, because me and her would make plan, like she'd be like, girl, I'm going up to gamble, you know, we're gonna go to this ferry up in Michigan or something like this, and we're gonna go across the ferry, we're gonna go, you know, why don't you come with me to the thing sometimes? And I'm like, maybe, or whatever. So sometimes we would like go walking, we'd be like on our weight loss kick or something, we'll go walking together. I would go to her house and we'd talk for like 2 hours about like, girl, I'm just getting fed up, and you know, we would talk about like lady stuff, relationship lady stuff, you know, things like this. So I wouldn't say we was like this, but we was cool. And I would tell her like, okay, one day one day we could go, or she was like, we going on a cruise, you know, you want to come? And like, I just can't afford that or whatever, like this, boom, boom, boom. So it was always like, I couldn't, for some reason, we couldn't get together for personal time for me and her to go do something separate, like out to dinner or go to the casino, whatever this is. We just never, it just never happened. All right. But that night, I think when he came home that night, he was like, man. And I'm like, what? And he's like, man, you know, whatever, something happened to Janice or whatever. I don't know, something like this. You know, they were saying that they came in and she, you know, because her heart was bad or whatever, like this. Now, this is making me think about somebody's whole heart. Okay, because she still worked. She used to drive down. She worked in them apartments over there by Hillary's, I think. My friend Lily used to live over there. A couple people used to live over there. Those apartments behind there. And I think she was the manager for that. She was the manager for that property for a long time. But when she moved up here, she was still working there. And so he was like, she died or whatever. They felt, yeah, what you call it, found her over there like this. And I couldn't remember if he was telling me that this shit just happened this night, and then I could see, and maybe something happened, they was over there, it happened, they seen the ambulance pull up and everything like this. Then they talked to the husband, he told him what happened, and then this made him drink a lot. But it also made me wonder about when we picked up that book, The City Ate Us Alive. And we got that thing, and she was like, that all three is wicked or some shit like this. Okay. And we did that reading. I can't remember, y'all. I put my readings out. I think that they entertain it. Okay. But the way I do my channel is the way I do my channel. I don't put no names up or nothing like this. I stopped doing that like about 2 years ago. So you would have to, you know, be an avid watcher to catch these things. But this is one storyline that's going on. This ain't no, oh, this could be anybody. This is a storyline or something like this, okay? So I could not remember today if he was telling me the story of him talking to whatchamacallit and was like, yeah, we could go, this would happen, or if the shit happened that night. Okay. But what I was imagining when I'm hearing this right in my playing in my head, and it keep popping up in my brain, it's almost like what came home to me that night, slumped over, drunk like that, was not my person. These are games that these men or some organization or something plays with these particular men, or some play, because I love Jones energy. I think that the Joneses, there's something, every crest and coat of arms, there's a story behind these names. They told us that we got them white man name, you know, Malcolm X and them came back in the day and was telling us we got them white men slave ship names, and everybody started changing their names. But these particular names, whether you are the original children of those families or not, it could be very fundamental when you're going through this awakening to realizing who or what you are. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. For me, they trying to make it like I'm not an alchemist, or I'm not the alchemy baby or alchemical child. But I see the different, like if I'm just the odd one out, then why am I looking around? Because if Ham and them is from the American, and Ham is the progenitor of the dark races, or it could be more African. Japheth may be Japheth may be Asian or Asiatic or something like this. And Shem is more what I look at myself as, but they could have changed it. But a lot of people say they was the yellow or the light skinned people, or they could have been copper, or I got all them tones in my skin. So, you know what I'm saying? But I think that they could also play around with Shem. They don't like to admit that there's cocoa color or copper color Shemites. When they put that in there, they're just trying to make it seem like it's only like light skin or, you know, lighter complexion Shem. All right. But I look at like the cocoa colored like Egyptians and shit like this with the pretty eyes and the round face, kind of like mine. I look at them as like Shemites to a certain extent. That's just with my own personal whatever. So and they don't really talk too much about Shem, right? So what I was hearing was maybe that wasn't my person that came back to me. These people could have jumped. They could have went dauntless, or they could have jumped. Something could have been going on, you know, with the chip that they have, that these two people, that one was my associate from across the street, or my so-called friendly neighbor, and my spouse, they could have been on the same something like this, and they could have jumped at the same time, something like this. But it's just giving me the thought of like, this is still, when it's talk about in the Bible, don't withhold sexual encounters from your mate. Okay. This could also be information, right? To the devil get in. So some of these people, somebody come with the opportunity to, like Charlie and Chocolate Factory with that fucking ticket, talking about some, just give me the ticket. I want the ticket. And then the man should have told, Charlie should have really been told Willy Wonka, like, this nigga keep coming up here talking about the ticket. I just want to enjoy this thing. Can you get this nigga out of here? But no, they just, all the kids just kept it quiet and kept moving. That this person came and whispered in their ear. That's like somebody like, did you know that your husband or your wife is the Duke of Earls or something? And there's a lot of money and people talking about this. Oh, really? Instead of saying, wife, bitch, did you know that you the Duke of Earl? Or you was married to the, you know, you got money coming. Somebody, they went to their coven, or they went to people, or they kept it in their head, and they shared this information with people with the neurochip, and they were able to obtain something in somebody's situation, right? So my thing was like, so is this what happened? Did my person get taken into one of these things? And the child that's my actual daughter, okay, and maybe these are children that lose, because what we seemed like we were seeing yesterday in that reading, what these could be children that lose their souls as little babies. I could have been one of them. Do you understand what I'm saying? To a certain extent. I don't, like, my story was a little bit different because I was with my mom, but then I moved back with my dad. But you know, but like, I can tell my story. These girls are supposedly, their mother died at an age where they can't tell their story. They can't really remember who their mother is, what she looked like, and things like this. My story was a little bit different, okay? So, so I was thinking, so damn, what if there was something going on? Because when me and the girl met across the street, she was telling me like, yeah, she was like, yeah, I went to this school. I'm like, oh, so you probably know my cousin them. Da 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 da. And she was like, I was like, Charlotte, you know, Jackie. She was like, yeah, them was my girl. And, you know, we knew each other. We used to go out together and everything when we was older and shit, to the club and everything, girl. You know, and I'm like, oh, it's a small world. You get what I'm saying? So this person she was the age of my older cousins that I wasn't really close with. Which could be about the same age bracket as my person, my supposed spouse. Yeah, because I'm hearing that energy of drop down and get your ego on, girl. And I was picking up that energy of the eagles, or I think we were talking about something like this, okay? But the green eagles are, they don't have wings, or they're not, these are shepherds or something like this. You see how he's on this thing? That's what Source was telling me. They're not USA eagles. But somebody could have got something misconstrued, and they could have let some eagles that stay on the ground level come in and assume the role of eagles that fly high. These are like God's eagles. Them like trying to raise up some stars, or some regular stars, or some stars, or people in the music industry above the stars and stripes or the stars of God or the flag. This could also have something to do with Hannum and Dan and how they go so well together in the music industry and shit like this, as like the owners of the record labels and then the people that are the performers. The peoples that was probably popping in the 70s and 60s in the industry, like the Eagles. And they drop down. And these could be people that try to clip the wings of their, if they have egos, like say that's the, say on my mom's side of these are ego, trying to get your ego on people that are close to the ground. They have eagle eyes, but they still low vibrational. They think only on this level. But on my dad's side of the family, because of the royal connection or something like this, it could be on both sides, really. I have the mindset of the eagles that can fly high, close to God, or look, you know, supposed to be government or higher. Do you get what I'm saying? So that's like eagle energy on both sides. You know, somebody can see shit like, you know, accurately or something like this around them. You could be very watchful, quiet, but watchful growing up. But again, also when you go through the awakening part, seeing that you could actually see higher. Damn, I'm not just some dumb girl that just sees stuff like a city. I could get knowledge, and actually when I get this knowledge, it helps me see something from a higher level. Oh, okay, I could be that kind of eagle too. So this is the thing about Joseph with the colors, because I was thinking about this Dan energy. Okay. And somebody doing some shit out of spite, or is somebody doing something because this person can only see from this level here. And I think Joseph is the one here that gave away the, when he was going blind or he couldn't see. Now, how do we know that that when they're saying this, they got cut off? They found, okay, because the female is normally the seer. Esther, again, with this energy of the spring in the state of Wisconsin, and Esther and Namse and Namke, Namsamsi or whatever her name is, Namke, in that book of that prophecy, the men were using her. They was calling her a mental patient, but they were using for her intelligence, her psychic mind. It was a mind like nobody else's. Right? They were using her for that, but they were claiming that she was mentally ill, and all these men was the book. All the men were wrapped around her, trying to get her in a mental institution. You know, some old suspect ass, some suspicious ass shit. And Wisconsin had these laws in the 1800s and stuff to make women, if they got a different practice or they start veering off into something else or in some type of spirituality, that these men could lock their wives up in a mental institution. And they brought these laws back around the time of COVID. So they, when a lot of mothers was not wanting to get the shot. Oh, okay. 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 So, what? We'll see about that. So, what was I gonna say? That's strange. Anyways, that just made me lose my whole train of thought. So, with the, so okay, we know that Joseph ended up what happened? Joseph ended up going blind later on, or couldn't see, whatever that means, and he gave the blessing to I'm hearing somebody could even be seeing red. He gave the blessing to the wrong person. Period. The hand on the thigh thing or whatever like this. So somebody could be even. I told you somebody's family is like tough, tough, tough. But I think that somebody here knows what they're doing. I don't think that it's a mistake at all. I don't think it's a mistake at all. Somebody knows what they did here to smite another person, an immature woman. Like I said, because if these family units all together been working on my inheritance and blocking me from the crown and things like this all this time, or if these devils were running the royal family or manipulating something with the royal family or running or, you know, blackmailing the royal family so that they can get whatever they want off of the coming royal, okay? Right? Because whatever, as above, so below, whatever was around me when I was growing up, if I have this in my DNA, was around these people as well in the higher rankings here. So yeah, hello from the other side. I wanted to try 1,000 times to tell you I'm sorry. This could also be a male energy that never can leave a certain place. He's stuck there. So this person could have liked me or was jealous of me and stuck me there, or regretted the day they met me and stuck me there. Okay. This could be people thinking that they had the juice or something like this, and they're trying to act like they had the juice, and this man accidentally gave it to me. um they're trying to do something here, you know, something strange here to make something seem a certain type of way. You know what I'm saying? Oh.
If you would have, we're a bank, so
Uh-huh.
there's lots of protocol to ensure safety of our team. So if you wouldn't mind just waiting in a different parking, like just over
Okay.
to the parking lots that are not the bank,
Okay.
right straight ahead or something.
Okay.
Thank you so very much. I appreciate
Yeah, I just never heard of anything like that before.
it. Yeah, we're not the movies, so there's a
Uh-huh.
lot of protocols to ensure our
Uh-huh.
safety.
Okay.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm. Let me move over 1 inch. So video on Joseph's is Chief Joseph and Joseph from the Bible, and the storyline is almost very similar. The information or the knowledge that they want or need. Yeah, there's people in the drive-through that can make they've been our politics. If they've been playing around with, maybe somebody ruins people or something like, you know what I'm saying, the ground or lower eagles, you know. And so somebody's trying to do something to human, like I can't, I'm dumb, or I can't saying, okay. um yeah, I think one of the eagles is a Henley family. Okay, again, since she got a couple clones now because they high school, I mean after school or something like this, and matched up with this person behind my back and just get Jenny, or when I put a picture of her and Sophia next to each other, they leave it time. And these are their forever young children that they had at that time about who I am. And now these people are raising up, taking my above me because I'm part him. She looked like her dad, but she also looked like my auntie. It looked like those is her parents. It don't look like Pam is her parents. At one point in time, I felt like a spirit was trying Pam was my mother, but I don't think that's possible either. Or D, the clairvoyant, or whatever, the one with the British clones or splices or whatever. But it's Sophia, Truman Show. But they're back now living a lavish lifestyle after they found out how the back end work and how to take my inheritance from me. And hello from the other side, this could be this Adele Nina. Adele could be a clone of Nina, and she just passed away recently. You gotta, this person could be in the upright with this person, and the actual one that been doing this is the one using the name Sophia. Now her name could have been Sophia, or my name could have been Sophia. If it was a Kanika thing, it could have been something that happened to me, and they fed me to a beast to try to make. Less these people, but girls around me could have knew. I was even thinking about, all right, the free. All right, we just called him cousin, whatever. Mm. And then I put up something about the transgender, and a whole bunch of people jumped on the thread and was talking. All right. Um, what is this? Um, and then that's when I started getting a lot of beef online, and it never stopped since that incident. I think is what kicked off this cyberbullying or something like this. Okay. I think they was also doing something on Chad, whatever his name is, that actor that passed away, that looked like my brother Keith. They was also doing something on that, and that's when the cyberbullying I think really started around then. Okay. But again, Fred had already passed away, things like this. There's something funny about what these people wove together behind the scenes, the web that they weave. All right. So let me get back on track. So that's what I was thinking. If my person jumped while we were still living in Kenosha, I'm trying to figure out, yeah, because we have this high priestess in reverse here. I'm trying to wonder if the Russell person, if he's an Egyptian, he could have gravitated onto me or wanted me, and my person could have wanted his person, and they could have went on some type of journey here. Again, the girl Kanika could be the fucking girl from across the street. She looked a lot like her too. She looked more like Tiana than what Tiana looked like at that time. So this is what's confusing to me. This is what's confusing to me. If these women that get with the men that have these daughters, do they sacrifice these women at some point, these girls at some point in time? And so could my person be out there with my real daughter, with this person, with another woman, with this high priestess in reverse? And my daughter going to have a baby by some underground person, and then she's going to die at birth or die when she have the baby, and then somebody else get the baby. Do you see what I'm saying? It's like some kind of order. When my person stepped behind my back and probably got an envelope or something with some important information about himself or me that would have upgraded our life. Did this person keep this information away from me because these people were more of a collective group of witches? So say they was our neighbors, but they was also a coven of witches, but that was connected to his bloodline. They talking about something that got something to do with me. It should have had something to do with me, but they didn't allow me to know what this was. Do you get what I'm saying? Some kind of priesthood or coven or something. All right. So this could have something to do with with that. Mm, all right. So this is how I'm looking at it now. All right. This is how I'm looking at it. Okay. And then these people would just jump on the bandwagon of stalking the Christ energy. You know what I'm saying? To know, see how much I know about what they could be doing in the background. But somebody's protecting the wrong, they're threatening the wrong person and they're protecting the wrong person. And I think somebody knows that and tear them down to get where I need to go. To gather them all to get, we're gathered here today. It's not no wedding though. If anybody thinks that somebody shouldn't be with somebody, go ahead and speak now or forever hold just peace. You know, they done took your money. Do you want us to investigate this? Okay. You speak now or forever hold your peace while these people ain't married. Because somebody could be acting like they married, but they really not. Because the person could be still married to you or me. Now, why would somebody have to say, oh, we just had to do it this way? No, you didn't, because I'm anointed. I already know where God placed me. So why wouldn't I be able to be wherever my name is supposed to be at? Wherever my money is at, whatever journey I'm supposed to be taking, why wouldn't I be able, my feet work? Why wouldn't I be able to be moving? Why would these people try to do everything to keep money out of my pocket, even in the town that I'm living in, to try to change my lifestyle? You know what I'm saying? To try to change the connection with me and my children and me and my mate. Do you get what I'm saying? Why would they do that? Curry. Because while I was on this, I don't know why this Curry energy with Aisha Curry and stuff like this is coming up, but I used to go to school with this boy named Curry, and we was cool in school. He had pretty eyes, and I had a dream about this boy, probably about 4 years ago, 5 years ago, that all these people from my school and everything with a certain masculine was at the place that I had my wedding reception, and they were all in there watching me on a big screen, like walking around my house looking crazy, like humiliating or embarrassing private moments or something like this, probably getting in the shower or and all these people was like laughing, and they was sitting in this room with this big screen or whatever, and they was all laughing. And then the boy was saying, yeah, such and such passed, your twin flame, this one I was heavy in twin flame energy, your twin flame passed away, I'm the one that got the stuff or whatever that you need or whatever, but you got to be with me. If you ain't gonna be with me, then I'm not gonna give you the stuff. And I'm thinking like, what? And we were standing outside. It was like a people still pulling up to this place and things like this, and he was sitting out in the car in this dream. And I'm like, what do you mean? Why would you even be doing that or whatever? Like, why y'all even letting these people in here look at me on that screen or something like this? And he was like, well, I'm the one that's holding it. Like, before he died, he told me to give it to you or something like this, but I'm not giving it to you unless you're going to be with me. In this dream. And I think I woke up from the dream, or I just can't remember the rest of the dream. But it was funny because why was they in this dream? I was kept on asking myself, why was they at the place of my wedding reception? On this, watching me on this projector or whatever. It's just strange. And so now when they got Aisha Curry and them on there, and he feeling embarrassed or something like this, these could even be some of us dealing with these ghost people. They're not even here in the physical. You don't even know that you married to this person. You don't even know that this person cleaved on to you. And they're like, why are you embarrassing me? And it's like, what? We're not in no fucking relationship. Like there's people that's claiming that they've been with you and they didn't, or they married to you and you never even slept with these people, or it's something weird like this, okay? So let's see about the hello from the other side energy. Because we don't know. I don't know what, like, I hadn't talked to my friends and stuff like this and the people that I was close to, my play sisters, for the past 4 years, really. All right. Um, I don't know what kind of process they went through in the past 4 years, or what they went through, or what they started to realize. I don't know if these people grew up really knowing that they're not really sisters and they are, or I don't know if these people found this out after they start crossing over. I don't know. But something ain't over when it comes to this immature woman and this high priestess in reverse. It's almost like these women, this is what they do. Like, usually it's a man that they do this to. And upgrade them, and then these men fall in love with, if they could have been with the love of their life, but it's something about the experience that they share with these particular people, because they was the ones that got them up out the game, or they the ones that got them up in like they went from like $100,000 to, you know, $200,000, something off to take it off these women like this. It's like, I want my shit like the official way, like straight from the courts. I don't want to go through no people. I don't want to get my shit like this, you know, something like that. All right. So we got a King of Wands is in reverse. This could have been somebody that was kind of feminine, or like a King of Wands that's more like a caring person, or could also be a pimp. You know, because pimps be like wearing pink and purple and shit like this. It could be somebody like this, or the person could have been looked at as gay or feminine or soft or something like this. I don't know. It's even somebody's like threatening me, like, I don't play about mine. And it's like, whatever, like, it almost feel like this is my husband, but you talking about yours what? Bitch, you're not married to her. You married to me, or you was with me, or you mine. What do you mean? You don't play about yours. Don't cross that line. Who the fuck brainwashed you? Now, somebody could be doing something here. Again, they not married, but they could have been using me as a sis, or using me to produce seed or something for something. Confirmation. They're not married. Their glue that sticks them together is making money off of my womb. But like, say this is my husband, but you over here with this bitch making money off my womb. When you could have asked me, this is a sacred womb. So it's like, even if this is Suin energy, the Suin people could have changed something, even though I look like the original Suin women in the face. In Young Miami, or one of these other girls that will be looking like me, or changed, or Brooke Valentine, or one of these people that changed their face to look like me or something like this, so they could get these blessings when I was supposed to. They don't look like them. Now, I will say that if I look at Young Miami, she could look a little bit with the facial features or whatever. That picture that I took with the Fleur de Lis with 15, I'll be putting it up on this board, on my board. That can kind of look like Rachel. That can look like my grandma or something. But again, that means that Rachel's children was cut off. They never supposed to come back and be able to do whatever this is that they was trying to do to me when I was little again. So it's like, yeah, you could try to stand up for your bloodline, but then I'm gonna have to point out the flaws and point out how y'all supposed to be in the dust for fucking around or trying this again here. Now, somebody could have been with this person and holding off. Like, again, this could be 2 years. A cycle just started, and we in the 3rd year. Somebody, after 2 years, the cycle got to end or something like this, but it's not, it hasn't hit it's still within the 2-year mark. It's not in the 3-year mark, where if I figure out this code or something where this person don't have to marry this person, they can actually bring me my shit back and be with me. But this is still a man that did a lot of things behind my back, or without my knowledge, or without my permission or something, saying, hey, I want to come back to you. You know, it would still sound like that. But again, when they're dealing with these women here, all right, this could be like mob tie, blood ties, something like this, because these are not the real people. It's a code that they have, because everything is really, once you pull the blanket back, everything is really a mess. Everything is ghetto rigged or something. It's not, they're not who they say they are. So this could bring down a whole, I mean, it might just have to do that, y'all. Because whatever this is, the star, somebody was a dark child or a dark star. A star in the dark. Like, people in the neighborhood could have been watching you. People were watching you or something when you were younger. Whatever money this is that somebody is sitting in the lap of luxury ordering all these contraptions and all this shit. Okay? Being seen in the light while they have this stuff. Knowing that these people was messy and hoarders and shit like this just 6 years ago or 4 years ago. You see what I'm saying? Somebody was a hoarder 6 years ago, but you talking about you a clean freak. Your Truman Show person was a hoarder. You have not been like that all your life. You watch these people burn me from the back end, and it scared you so much to make you think that you was not gonna make it to a certain level, that they gave you a house and money and everything to make it seem like this is how you always been, and that you a clean person and you're overly clean and everything like this. And look at the queen or whatever. Look at her house, is dirty, is filthy. Pick me. You get what I'm saying? So you can watch me clean. But if you didn't have that money, you would still be in that situation. If somebody would have just gave me my fucking money, I could have started building my life. I wouldn't build it like that. But, you know, I could live the life in a clean apartment and things like this, or home, or whatever this is. You get what I'm saying? So them thinking is making me jealous. It's just making me see clearly. So we got the Chariot out here. This could be another organization or something that's trying to figure out something. They're trying to figure out something. Yeah, Queen of Wands energy. This could also be my money from my Queen of Wands days. You know, being a dominant female, owning my sexuality when I was younger and stuff like this. The people that I thought that I was just meeting and having fun with, they could have been sent in. There could have been money and tips and shit like this from me engaging with these people that was in an account or a trust fund. And this person that's enjoying this lifestyle, that's not your money. That was off my, whether I knew I was making money or not at the time. You're not the Queen of Wands to this person, or you're not the Queen of Wands. You see what I'm saying? Because queens are not supposed to take gifts from people. So this would be what they were doing, is putting it in a fund or something like this. So when the person get older, if you was a muse to somebody or something, you get older, you get this money. But my energy got the money, but somebody else is living some kind of pristine lifestyle, traveling and doing all this shit that I'm supposed to be doing. It's something like that. And it's like these men don't even matter. Yeah, that's my John Gotti card. With the 8 of Cups here. Somebody's sad about what didn't happen or what they did or something like this. All right, we got a Prince of Cups. Somebody could have had to cut ties with a person. The person could be feeling some kind of way. Okay, but I don't know. We got the Queen of Wands too. This could even be my person and this false Queen of Wands. And this person is feeling sad because they got betrayed, or they see how they betrayed somebody. Yeah, 3 of Cups too. Other people that was connected. Somebody seeing like, this would be like somebody, you knew I was working to redeem myself from what we did to these people in the past or some shit like this, and then y'all was doing it again or something. Like, I don't know, something is a betrayal. But that could have did something to me and this person when we were younger. This person, my own child or something, right? But again, remember, they've been coming out.